that, you're partnering with trusted voices like Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, and other influential hosts. Backed by millions of monthly listeners.
What's happening? Because of a real voice, man. I watch it all the time.
Real America's Voice rocks.
Real America's Voice gives sponsors the chance to put their product front and center, displayed on screen and highlighted by our anchors during exclusive segments and live events.
Head to freetrumpknife.com.
This means your brand becomes part of the conversation as it happens.
Secure your spot before it's too late.
Join us today and make your brand part of the news conversation that America's viewers trust. Real America's Voice, where your message is seen, heard, and remembered.
You start getting foreclosure notices, and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
Ahead on American Sunrise, President Trump slapping new 50% tariffs on some Canadian imports. Oh, Canada. How could that country retaliate? And what could the new trade fight mean for American businesses and consumers? We will have the very latest this morning. Plus, a former U.S. Army soldier in custody after authorities say he set a fire, ignited fireworks, fired a pellet gun outside a Manhattan federal building that houses ICE offices. The FBI is investigating. What does the incident say about the security of federal facilities and immigration officers? We'll discuss. And later, a new government shakeup in New York City. Mayor Zohran Mamdani moving forward with his own government efficiency plan. What changes could go before voters, and how could they reshape how City Hall operates? It's not Doge, it's Coj. We have those stories and more as American Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. G. We are live with you from the Palm Beaches. Let's bring in David Brody. He's in Washington, D.C. T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, gentlemen.
Have a taco. It's Tuesday. Good morning.
You know, I love Tuesdays. Do you know why I love Tuesdays? Because Colin, Colin works our show. And not that I don't love everyone else, but Colin is such a gem and an asset to this network. And his work is sometimes overlooked just because of his job, just because, you know, he's behind the scenes guy. But on Tuesdays, he's here, and I get to catch up with him and hear all about his life and his love and all the things. And it just makes my day.
Yeah. You're forcing us to say nice things about Colin.
Yeah, kind of.
So
I love him.
Well, I like Colin's brother a little bit better than Colin. Colin's brother is awesome. Colin is just decent. He's all right. But Colin's brother, who also works for us, is pretty awesome. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm sure he'll be in my ear.
You know, they're all awesome in our control room, but I'll tell you something. Colin brought every one of them in. I don't know if you know that, but Colin's the guy that brought them all here. So there you go. Back to
he's like the godfather of the control room.
He is. He's the godfather.
And he's from New York, so it's quite appropriate. But since we're singing Colin's praises, seriously, I must say this. I was called in. This was, 4th of July. It was 4th of July. We were doing the America 250 thing, and there had been a huge storm, and so we kind of had to reshuffle our broadcast. And Colin and the production guys in D.C. actually went on air. They went in front of the microphone, and they were awesome. Like,
I saw that.
They were so
I was watching,
good.
and I was cheering and giggling and laughing so hard, knowing all of them. It was just it was the best. That should happen more often.
Really was.
And do you know that Zen, the owner of our network, is so proud of that moment. He told me, I told him I saw it, and he retold me the whole story again from his view. If you ever see him, you should ask him. It's really sweet. We're blessed.
Awesome.
Are we blessed? Think how blessed we are.
We're definitely blessed, for sure.
All right. Well, should we get to today's Bible verse?
Let's do it.
Please, let's do it.
All right. This is one that was sent to us from Sue, MDH31, in the chat. It's from Matthew 11, verses 28 and 30. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I love that. Well, okay, I love them all. I know I say that every day. President Trump has announced a new 50% tariff on a wide range of Canadian goods, accusing Canada of discriminating against U.S. automakers, dairy producers, and alcohol exporters. Oh, goodness. The tariffs are set to take effect in 30 days. Energy, potash, I don't know what that is, fish, and some critical minerals are exempt, while Canadian officials are warning the move could drive up costs and further strain trade relations between our two countries. Let's now bring in Epoch Times senior editor, Jan Jekelek. Is that how you say it? Help me, Jan. How are you? Good morning.
I'd say that's one of the best pronunciations I've heard.
Oh, yay. What do you make of this? And what's the word that I didn't know what it was, if you know?
So potash is basically...
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of...
Oh. Well, he's sponsored by AMAC. Go ahead.
All right.
Just so you know, you're sponsored by AMAC.
Go ahead.
Sponsor.
It's Tuesday.
Potash, you want to know about potash specifically?
Yeah, well, why not?
It's basically like a kind of salt typically used in fertilizer, that kind of thing. But Canada has a few things. And of course, I'm Canadian. So I'm not surprised you're asking me about this. But Canada has a bunch of industries that it's subsidized quite heavily in some cases. Like, for example, dairy. That's one of the ones that you mentioned. And this has kind of been a source of contention for a long time with the United States. And I think, there's this, ever since kind of the 51st state stuff, right? That really kind of, the Canadian population reacted to the 51st state stuff pretty dramatically, arguably, kind of changing big election results and so forth, because the Canadian identity is sort of tied to not being American, if you will. Okay, and so when a president comes out and says, "Hey, 51st state," this kind of thing, the Canadian that's when the Canadian sort of patriotism rallies or nationalism rallies and so forth. So I think that the Canadian government feels like it has more cards to play, and the Canadian population will support them, given the sort of the nature of the relationship right now.
Trump's a piece of work. He said, what did he say in the last few days with the wildfire smoke here in the United States? Leave it to Trump to basically tell Canada, you better pay us for some of this. We don't need your smoke down here in the United States. I mean, this is, what's the relationship right now between Canada and the United States? How would you term it? Is there one word? How would you sum it up?
I mean, fraught maybe is a good word, maybe a bit of an understatement. But basically, Canada is deeply connected with the United States. I think that's where actually the origin of those 51st state comments came from. I mean, economically, right, it's really deeply tied. For example, auto manufacturing, you'll have, sort of components going across the border, something being built over here, going back. I mean, in some ways, the ties are so close that is as close as some states have to each other. And I think so this is kind of a reality. Also, Canada depends on the United States for obvious reasons, for defense and so forth, right? It's like the big superpower south of your main border. And so it's a weird relationship because Canada is inexorably dependent in these ways, and also creates these national security problems potentially if it has kind of, as Vancouver has become this conduit for CCP activity, right, coming through. I mean, this has been we've known about this for decades. It basically and I think that the president is trying to hold Canada to task around all these areas, including some of these protectionist policies I mentioned earlier. But at the same time, the Canadians aren't having it. And I feel the current Canadian government is really leveraging that, the chagrin Canadians feel, hey, how come the Americans get to dictate what we're going to be doing? Let's show them.
You used a couple of words that I think are critical in summing up the current relationship between the U.S. You said Canada is dependent on the United States, particularly when it comes to security, and then you used the word leverage. And it seems to me that the United States has all the leverage in that relationship, given that it is kind of the big brother, if you will, to Canada. So the reaction that we're seeing coming out of our northern neighbors, do you see that more as posturing, or is there really this kind of pushback against some of the rhetoric coming out of the United States?
No, I think the pushback is real because the popular support, I mean, whether that is sort of, promoted through mass media or, whether it's sort of, egged on, if you will. No, I think it's quite real. I do think the U.S. has all the leverage, and ultimately, if there is this kind of continued face-off, Canada will lose out on that. But it's also very easy for whoever's in charge in Canada to kind of just blame it on the problems that result from that on the U.S., right? And then you get this vicious cycle. I actually don't like this at all. I would very much like to see a resolution.
Jan, what can you tell us about the incendiary attack in New York City, and how concerning is this? Is this the sign of things to continue to come?
Well, so it's kind of a shocking thing, right? I don't know if we could say an effective attack on a federal office, on an ICE office. But to me, the bigger problem is, and actually Secretary Rubio discussed this in a recent speech, is this rise of far left violence, right? And not even rise. I mean, this has been something that's been around over the last, especially in significant force over the last, let's say, 5 years. And certainly further back than that. And we've kind of treated it in a different way than we've treated a whole lot of other kind of similar extremist violence. So to me, this is a continuation of that trend, if you will. The fact that the border was opened up, in effect, and sort of millions and millions of people were allowed to come through. Now we have a policy in the United States of deporting a lot of those people, especially the people who are criminals, especially the people who obviously have bad intent against the country. And that, of course, is going to create a lot of problems in itself, because this is a messy thing to do, right? It's messy, it's nasty, it's not. A lot of people are going to be unhappy about it, right? So it's not surprising that ICE institutions or ICE locations are being targeted and so forth. But I think that the key part is to be able to, for United States law enforcement to really be able to kind of figure out its counterintelligence posture, its whole kind of approach to this kind of violence, which basically has kind of both been downplayed in the media, and also, and law enforcement hasn't had an effective response, except perhaps recently.
Wow. Well, let me say to our viewers, for those of you who may not be familiar with Epoch Times, I will say it is one of the only. A lot of people say, "Oh, you can get all your news on social media these days." A lot of it you can, but I will say your outlet is one of the only ones I subscribe to and read religiously. If you care about what's happening with China, if you recognize China as the threat that it is, you absolutely need to be subscribed to Epoch Times. Jan Jekielek, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks
so much.
All right, coming up, we're going to check out the hottest headlines from the Wrap newsroom with T-Base. Also later, the Save America Act faces a new test in the Senate. Could the government funding fight derail the bill, or become the lever Republicans need? Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn is going to join us just ahead here on American Sunrise. Please come here and help me.
Hey, Tracy, welcome back. Good morning.
Hey.
Wait, what is that? It's not.
Is she expected to grow pretty strong, or will she fizzle out?
No, it's not really expected to get crazy, and most of the thunderstorms are south. So I'll kind of just talk it through.
Okay.
And then we can take a look at what's going on.
Oh, is that what that is?
Country.
Just kidding. I think I know.
All right, coolio. Stand by.
This news break is brought to you by AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens.
Hold on. I know that. Give me a second. I feel like Biden. Give me a second. That's Niagara Falls, everybody. What do you want me to say about that? It's gorgeous. I mean, it's not, honestly, it's not the most beautiful shot right now, but normally it's beautiful. I've been there before, by the way, and I actually went down a barrel down the night. No, I didn't. I was just there with a camera. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. All right, I'm David Brody. Let's get to T. Bates. He's got the Real America's Voice headlines in the Real America's Voice newsroom. It's all very real here, and it's all sponsored by AMAC.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.us/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
President Trump will welcome the president of Lebanon to the White House in just a few hours. The upcoming bilateral meeting will include discussions about reining in the Iran-backed Hezbollah group that's terrorizing Israel as well as southern Lebanon. Today's talks come as Lebanon and Israel continue holding direct talks for the first time in decades. The Trump administration is a key mediator in those discussions that are aimed at stopping Lebanon and Hezbollah from firing on Israel and in turn seeing Israeli troops vacate southern Lebanon. During his 4-day trip to Washington, the Lebanese president has already met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Rubio says the U.S. will continue to endorse the Lebanese agreement to push for peace with Israel and work towards the Lebanese army being the sole security force for the country. He also warned that Lebanon will never be fully at peace until the Hezbollah issue is resolved. Filing for South Carolina's special Republican primary to replace deceased Senator Lindsey Graham as the GOP's nominee in November opens today. The primary is already off to a pretty interesting start as Graham's sister, Darlene Graham, who was just sworn in last week to finish her brother's current term, says she will run for re-election. Many expected her to simply see out her brother's term, but the younger Graham says she has preyed on it and will run to be the GOP's South Carolina Senate candidate in November.
I know I'm a hard worker. I learned that from Lindsey. He cared about the people of this state. I've worked for almost 30 years for the people of this state.
I want to talk about that in a minute.
I feel like I can do it. I feel an inner peace about it. Will it be difficult? Yes, absolutely.
Other candidates saying they'll enter the race include Representative Russell Fry as well as Congressman Ralph Norman. The primary, by the way, is scheduled for August 11th. 14 states across the central part of the country are bracing for possible rolling power outages. The Southwest Power Pool, which provides electricity from North Dakota over to Louisiana, says the power system is on the brink of an electricity shortfall due to record demand. A heat wave across the region is leading to increased use, leading to grid operator operating on some or all of its reserves in order to meet the need. On rare occasions, power grid operators will order controlled blackouts in order to prevent outages that affect a wider area. The Southwest Power Pool, by the way, is warning that this is a possibility after several plants unexpectedly went offline Monday, forcing the operators to dip into reserves. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now let's get a quick check of your forecast. Meteorologist Tracy Anthony standing by with more on Bertha. Bertha's not too big, though, at this point. Tracy, good morning.
Yeah, you know, our second named storm system of the year, Bertha. You know, we were just talking about what a perfect name for a storm system. I think it would be a little more fitting if Bertha was a little bit larger, but Bertha right now is a tropical storm with winds right around 50 miles per hour, moving to the west or the northwest about 5 miles per hour. But look at how lopsided the convection is with this storm system. So with winds aloft coming in from the north, it's keeping a lot of that thunderstorm activity to the south, which is actually some good news for the Gulf Coast cities. Now, as this storm kind of meanders right along the coast, we are expecting it to stay a tropical storm until about mid to end of the week, and then it will slowly start to weaken. Still could get some more rain wrapping around the north side of things, and we still could have some non-direct impacts, but dry air is getting pulled into Bertha, and that dry air also has some Saharan dust. So those are some of the limiting factors on the strength and intensity of this storm system. We do, however, still have a few areas under tropical storm warnings and watches. Gulfport, Mobile, kind of that I-10 corridor between New Orleans and areas like Panama City. So that's what's going on along the Gulf Coast. But if we take a look across the country, we still have that extreme heat. And Terrance, kind of to go with those rolling blackouts, our overnight temperatures have been staying mild just because of this Gulf air and the moisture. And that's why the infrastructure is having issues, because it doesn't get relief through the overnight hours. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but it's all that tropical-like air impacting a lot of us.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for clearing that up. By the way, I just want to add, the name Bertha should be reserved only for storms. If anyone names their child Bertha, I think somebody should call CPS, Child Protective Services. You should not do that to a child. It should only be for storms. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying, if your name is Bertha, no offense. I'm just saying.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you agree. All right, we'll check in with you next hour and get your hometown forecast. Thanks, Tracy.
It sounds good. We'll see you then.
All right. Coming up, Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nordone, opens up about the moment that she learned her brother was dead. Her emotional comments are next. Senator Blackburn, good morning. It's always nice to have you.
It's good to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Senator.
Sure.
Chicago, Illinois. Number 2 pizza in the world. Number 1, of course, New York. St. Louis pizza, not even on the list, FYI. I know Gina will get me back for that a little later in the show. Welcome back, folks, to American Sunrise. All right, South Carolina Senator Darlene Graham Nordone opens up about when she got the call regarding the sudden death of her brother, Lindsey Graham. Have a look.
I mean, it was like I was living a nightmare. When I got the unexpected news, I can't even tell you how devastated I was when I got that call. It was so hard, and but from there, things just started moving so fast. Like you said, I got the call from the president and the governor, Tim Scott. It just thoughtful messages, you know, how much they respected him, true friendship. So, and then the question, you know, would I serve? And I was just shocked. It never occurred to me, you know, that was Lindsey's life, not mine. Nothing I ever wanted to be a politician or a senator. But when they asked, it didn't take me long. I prayed. I talked to my family, and I knew that I had to step up. You know, I had to carry on his legacy.
We should note in that same interview, she did announce that instead of just filling the seat temporarily, she will now run for the Senate seat in South Carolina's upcoming special election. Let's bring in Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn to discuss this. Senator, have you spoken with Darlene at all? And wondering your reaction to all of this.
We have been so pleased to welcome her to the Senate. She is going to carry on Lindsey's legacy. We're looking forward to having her involved in the daily work of the Senate. And she is as committed to South Carolina as he was. And I know she's going to represent them well.
Mm-hmm. Senator Blackburn, let's get down to some brass tacks here and talk about government funding. What is your expectation in terms of getting these various funding bills in place in time? I think September is when they currently run out. The Hill has this headline, which reads, GOP fears over shutdown collide with Save America Act. Obviously, the Save America Act has now been attached to short-term funding bills. What do you think? How is this all going to ultimately work out? I think we all expect the Democrats are going to try to play hardball. So are they going to shut the government back down again?
Chuck Schumer has already announced that his goal is to shut the government down come the end of September. So everyone knows that Republicans are working diligently to make certain that there is a continuing resolution and that does not happen. Now, there were several of us on the floor last night. I led our work from some of the conservatives, Mike Lee, John Husted, Bernie Moreno, Cynthia Lummis, several of us on the floor talking about why we need to pass the SAVE Act and getting a vote on this simple provision that 83% of the American people support, which is just show an ID, prove that you are who you are. And 71% of Democrats support that. But yet the Democrats say they are going to vote against anything that has to do with election integrity. They do not want to make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. They are telling you they want to cheat, even though you have a vast majority of the Democrats who are for the Save America Act. Everybody agrees, except the Senate leadership and the Democrats in the U.S. House. And again, 83% of the American people. Prove you're a U.S. citizen and show an ID when you go to the polls to vote so that we are protecting one person, one vote. And yet the Democrats and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries refuse to support this simple provision.
tourism. You definitely have the support of the American people on this. What more can you tell us about that bill on birth tourism, and how confident are you that it will pass the Senate?
Yeah, Dr. Gina, you're exactly right. The American people also support this. Our citizenship is not for sale. And the fact that you have these companies that are operating in the U.S. and they are promoting birth tourism. They are coaching individuals on how to get a visa, how to defraud the system, how to come here. Once they come here, then they work with them to get health care and have that baby, get the papers, so you've got that birth certificate and that passport. And now that child, when they turn 18, can begin to exercise chain migration. They can come into the country. They can vote in our elections. And the users of this birth tourism system primarily are wealthy Chinese members of the Chinese Communist Party and Russian oligarchs and celebrities.
Senator, let me ask you about the Iran war while we have you.
Sure.
We keep asking about finishing the job. So what does that look like to you? What does that mean exactly? No one can really define exactly with it. If I could just be fully honest, which I always am, which is this. The problem, the inherent problem here is that we really don't want to put boots on the ground. We just don't want to do it. And we can't win the war from the air. So that leaves us in what my dad would call a pickle. And what in the world do we do at that point? And Iran knows all of this. So this is a weaker, this does not look good for America. It puts us in a weaker position, not to mention the fact that President Trump doesn't want to get involved in a long, drawn-out war. And Iran knows that. And Iran doesn't care. They'll take their time. They don't mind. So this is a problem. And I think we should just call it for what it is.
And what we do know is Iran has been at war with us for 47 years. And that is a fact. We all know that. We know that President Trump is determined to end that. And he's determined to end their ability to have a nuclear weapon, to diminish their stockpiles of their missiles, to make certain their Navy is not functioning, and to open the Strait of Hormuz. And my thought is that when he feels like they've achieved those goals is when you will see victory declared.
All right. Well, we'll see, because you're going to have to do something more than just air power to get that the nuclear enrichment material. Anyhow, we can talk about it when you come back. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Good to see you, Senator Blackburn.
All right. Coming up, the FDA reverses an earlier lab finding involving Taylor Farms lettuce in that parasite outbreak. So what does the evidence show? Back in a moment.
David? Oh, he's gone. Okay. YouTube, good morning. Let me pop in and see what y'all are talking about. Ooh.
Terrance?
Yes, ma'am.
My mother's name was Bertha.
Was it? Okay. Well, I apologize, but I'm sorry. I can't stand that name. And particularly now, like back in the day, I could see it. If someone were to name their child Bertha now, I
think that my son and my daughter-in-law who are expecting are going to name their daughter after her.
Really?
Terrance, I completely made that up.
Don't do that.
My mother's my mother's name was Dietra, and my children have not mentioned their name with their name. But I did that once. I was going to feel
bad. I was like, oh my gosh.
I did that once with the name Gertrude. I said that, what you just did, I said that in a class, and one of my good friends, his mother's name really was Gertrude.
Like, I knew when I said, I was like, this is going to probably backfire, but I really do feel that way. Like, I'm sorry, Bertha, I don't think anyone, particularly now, should name their child
Nicholas Holscher, good morning.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning.
We're having a happy Taco Tuesday. How about yourself?
Oh, yes, definitely. But no.
Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. Gina. Microphone's on. Name Bertha notwithstanding. We are happy you are with us. Hey, hop into YouTube with us and chat with us. We're commercial free. You just get to hear us talk about our next guest and do all the behind the scenes stuff that we do if you hop on our YouTube chat. And we love when you're there. It's time now for today's health news. It is sponsored. Yeah, not nudes. News. Wow. Okay. Sponsored by the Wellness Company. And under the microscope today, the FDA, somebody get me some coffee, please, is reversing an earlier lab finding involving Taylor Farms lettuce connected to this multi-state cyclospora outbreak that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, linked to certain Taco Bell locations. Officials now say the test result, oops, just kidding, false positive. After additional lab reviews, the FDA says no product samples have produced a confirmed positive test for the parasite, though epidemiologic and traceback evidence continues to point to Taylor Farms iceberg lettuce. So Taylor Farms says the agency apologized for the testing error. The company's voluntary recall remains in effect as officials continue investigating the source and scope of the outbreak. All right, well, this summer, you know, patriotic Americans from coast to coast are going to be celebrating our 250th birthday here in the U.S., this nation founded by brave patriots who declared their independence from our British overlords. The summer is not only a great time to reflect on 250, it is also a great time to channel some of that American individualism. Declare your independence from Big Pharma and the broken medical establishment. That's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time on this network. You know their products are the gold standard when it comes to keeping you and your family safe and healthy. Wellness Company makes sure that whatever happens, you're prepared with their series of med kits. These kits have an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks to assist in the proper use of the meds in the kits. Also, Wellness Company offers a variety of products from parasite cleanses to methylene blue, weight loss, so much more. These can help you stay healthy, live a longer, more satisfying life. Celebrate 250 by declaring your independence from Big Pharma. Go to twc.health/RAV. Today, give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. It'll save you 10%. All right, we're going to bring in epidemiologist and administrator for the McCullough Foundation, Nicholas Holscher. Good morning, Nicholas. Seems like everyone. Now, if you're an epidemiologist, you have a PhD, right?
I have an MPH.
MPH. Okay. All right. So that's a master's in public health, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. Spent too much time in academia. I know a little too much about all those little letters. All right. Well, I just want to make sure I was addressing you properly if you worked that hard for a PhD, because I know the toil. All right. So everyone's been talking about this cyclospora, this parasite that's responsible for now thousands of infections across the country. Are we getting to the root of it, though? Because, first we heard Taco Bell, now we're hearing lettuce. I'm washing everything in vinegar. I'm ordering my Freedom Water Systems UV water treatment. I'm doing all the things, and I cannot figure out what all I need to do. Is it vegetables? Is it fruit? Could it be in our water? Is it meat? Tell us.
Yeah, so we don't have an 100% for sure answer where the cyclospora outbreak is stemming from, but the FDA does currently suspect, despite the false positive result on Taylor Farms lettuce, that Taylor Farms lettuce that has been supplied to Taco Bell is indeed the main driver of this outbreak, because I believe it was about 90% of individuals in Michigan who were infected with cyclospora did report to have eaten Taco Bell items that contained shredded iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all know the symptoms. We've heard of the GI upset. How can people know if this is coming? How long is the incubation period? Tell people what they need to know.
Yeah, the incubation period can last anywhere from a week to a week and a half. So you eat the taco from Taco Bell with lettuce in it. It might take a week or so to feel the symptoms, which may include the most prominent symptom, which is explosive diarrhea, very watery diarrhea, as well as stomach upset, stomach cramps, nausea, and low-grade vomiting, as well as just an overall feeling of being unwell.
And this is not something that's communicable human to human, correct?
Correct. This is not human to human. This cannot spread from human to human. You get it from contaminated, usually raw produce that's not cooked. And a lot of the time, sometimes it's raspberries, sometimes it's peas. A lot of the time it is lettuce, just like the current outbreak is suspected to be from. And so to really prevent that, you can just cook your vegetables for the time being and avoid unwashed lettuce, except washing it does not fully eliminate the cyclospora parasite, but cooking does.
So if it's generally coming from one source, if you, for example, shop at a farmer's market, do you really not need to worry about it?
Yeah, there's a much lower chance if you are obtaining local produce that it will not be contaminated with cyclospora. Much higher chance if you're importing the lettuce from Mexico, particularly where officials have traced the outbreak to.
All right. And how can folks be prepared with the wellness company?
Yeah, so the mainstay treatment for this is the antibiotic called Bactrim, and there is generic Bactrim in the wellness company's emergency medication kits. A human trial found that it actually reduced parasite shedding time from 12 days to 5 days in those who were infected with cyclospora. So that's very good to have on hand. And then there's actually a natural treatment as well that we believe will be effective in humans. It's actually curcumin, the main bioactive pigment in turmeric. It has been shown to reduce cyclospora parasite shedding by over 93% in animal models, and it eliminates the infection in mice, completely destroys the parasite. You'll see the images under the microscope. So we have a potential natural option as well.
That is fascinating, Nicholas, because, you know, I eat a ton of produce and I take curcumin every day for mood elevations. That's why I take it. It does that. It has that effect, too. Nicholas Hulscher, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Democratic Doge. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is now pushing his own government efficiency plan. What changes could it put before voters, and how could they reshape how City Hall operates? That story next on American Sunrise.
Hey, David.
Yes, sir.
Before you left, I wanted to make a joke about you saying that your dad would call that a pickle. I suspect that you're kosher with his thoughts on that, and I'm still not so sure what the big deal is with all of it.
You know, you were waiting literally 12 minutes to tell me.
I've literally been waiting 12 minutes for that. Yes, I've been waiting 12 minutes to share.
I waited like 6 minutes just to tell him my mom's name is Bertha and that Jack and Maddie are going to name our grandchild Bertha.
Oh, my gosh. You didn't call her Big Bertha, did you?
No, her name wasn't really Bertha.
Oh, gosh. Sorry. I'm
but
so gullible.
Bertha is an old high name meaning bright, according to Seafin Hope. And it is too bad that most people find it unpleasant because in some families it's a beloved name.
Imagine a hurricane. I just want to have that one line. Here comes Big Bertha.
Oh, gosh.
Big Bertha blowing through our viewing area right now.
I'd like to not have any hurricanes if it's all the same to you people. Oh, Tracy, I just ordered it online. Tracy, reach out to RavMod and I'll send her my exact brand. It's really good. It's kind of gross to take, though.
Welcome back to American Sunrise on this Tuesday. We appreciate you being here with us. It's now time to stay awake, not woke. And today we're discussing New York City and Mayor Zohran Mamdani specifically. Mamdani is actually moving forward with his own government efficiency initiative. It's dubbed the Commission on Government Efficiency, or COGE, not Doge, C-O-G-E. The commission has released a preliminary report exploring possible changes to the city charter aimed at speeding up construction permitting, outdoor dining approvals, government contracting, and street redesign projects. New Yorkers are being invited to submit comments as the commission actually considers which proposals could appear on the November ballot. Some of the ideas could streamline or even eliminate certain review requirements, and they could shift responsibility for some approvals within city government. So let's talk more about it. Let's bring back in Dr. Gina and David to discuss. David, I want to start with you since you're our resident New Yorker. I suspect when you hear Mamdani, just in general, you kind of turn off and just go, your eyes just cross. But what do you think of all of this?
Yeah, well, he's ripping off Elon Musk, so congratulations on that, number one. Number two, this is a little strange to me, so let me get this straight. So a communist, Mamdani, is now going to want to streamline the government? Sorry, no, that's not computing to me. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then you throw in the fact that the person running COGE is going to be this Democratic operative that, wait for it, I've got his resume right here. Look, it's on LinkedIn. He is the executive director, former executive director of the Democrat National Committee and president of the Soros family's Open Society Foundation.
Oh, so, my goodness.
And with that, I transfer the rest of my commentary over to the gentle lady from West Palm.
Well, I don't know. You're kind of on a roll there. I love when people go back in people's histories and take a look like that, because how very interesting and how telling is that. And it's a joke that a socialist would ever talk about cutting spending. I'm sorry, that's a joke.
But I will say this is what they do. This is what they do, right? I mean, they try to put, a cherry on top, some whipped cream, but what's the saying? If you can't put lipstick on a pig? I forgot the whole thing. Yeah, lipstick on a pig, right? So that's what they're doing here. And Mamdani, and Gina, you've talked about this. I mean, he's very, very slick. He's very, very good at making something horrible sound relatively interesting to hear. Now, we know, we're not fooled. We get it. I'm not talking about our audience and us, but people that don't pay attention to this type of stuff, I'm telling you, what's not to like about free this and free that? And, and then you throw in the fact that the government's here to work for you. I'm telling you, we hear all that and go, oh my gosh, horrible. Other people hear that and go, hey, tell me more.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned that if this, in fact, does go to a referendum and they put this sort of thing on the ballot there in New York, some of those voters who are already probably uninformed are just going to be overwhelmed. They're going to see all these different referenda and say, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to do anything at all, or I'm just literally going to mark a box without really reading it, and it's going to really be even a bigger mess. I'm just not buying it. I'm not.
Well, neither are
just
any
my
of us,
perspective,
obviously.
I guess. Obviously not.
We've run out of steam.
Right. Guess we don't have anything else to say on that.
Word of the day is potash. Potash, I guess is how they say it.
I'm sorry?
Potash from our A block.
The Canadian
What does that mean?
It's a Canadian base for, what was it, Terrance?
I don't remember what he said. I just remember it was like a Canadian
he told
term,
us, and now I'm like blanking. But I did learn that the proper pronunciation, I learned this in our YouTube chat from an audience member, is pronounced like potash. It's not potash. Potash made it sound like some sort of yummy potato-based food that I was going to get in Cajun land. I don't know.
Those Canadians, they have weird terms and even weird food. What is it? Poutine? Like, who wants to eat that? That stuff is nasty. Have you guys ever had the poutine, the Canadian poutine?
I think I've read about it or saw it on one of those food shows.
Yeah, trust me, I've tried it, and not one of my favorites at all. Anyway, we shall move on. Coming up, the House moves to withhold U.S. aid from Nigeria unless its government takes action to protect Christians from deadly violence. So will Nigeria change course, or will it push back against Washington? That story is next.
Good morning, Billy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. A little sleepy this morning, but otherwise really good.
Same. I have not had my coffee yet, so.
I haven't either. And, you know, no one around here is going to make me any, regardless how many words I slaughter in this read this morning.
You can't get David Brody to make you some coffee.
David Brody is in D.C.
I was just going to say hi to you, my wonderful friend, Billy.
How are you doing?
Oh, good. I don't know. They banned me from your segments. I don't know why. Just kidding. I'm making up controversy.
No, it's because I requested the Nigeria topic. That's why, David.
I love it. I love it.
But David, I was going to tell you, in that when you started doing the background research on the guy, I was like, wow, how Candace of you.
Hey, we're getting close, guys. We're getting close, guys.
Oh
I almost said that on air. Almost did,
Don't get
David.
me started.
Don't
get me
just
started, Gina.
Unbelievable.
Well, we oh boy, I
better be careful, Billy. She'll do a background expose on you too.
You know what? Yeah. The attention would be great. Let her do it. Can
I get some clicks?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. She could drive some traffic. I went on Jeremy Boring's show, and she went after the episode, but she didn't. She's only interested in going after Jeremy Boring, which was nice. So
yeah, I definitely heard her do that. All right, welcome back to American Sunrise. It is time now for our moment of faith in focus today. The House has passed a spending bill that would withhold certain American assistance to Nigeria unless the government takes effective steps to curb violence and protect Christians. This is very concerning to me. My husband talks about this all day, every time I see him. Supporters say the provision responds to years of deadly attacks against Christian villages, churches, and families across the country. A pastor's entire family completely massacred just this week. This measure would require the Secretary of State to certify that Nigeria is acting to prevent and respond to the violence, protect Christian communities, and hold those responsible for this religious violence accountable. The spending bill now heads to the Senate, where its future remains uncertain. Let's bring in CBN Digital host and journalist Billy Hallowell. Billy, this is so disturbing. I mean, this is unfathomable, and it's getting almost zero news attention in terms of network news, in terms of even independent network news. We're just not hearing a lot about it. So I've been begging for our producers to please give this center stage. I'm going to bring in David Brody because our friend Billy froze, and we'll try to fix that for you. And I'm going to bring in David Brody. David, I know this matters to you, too. I mean, this matters to all Christians. It's just that some people aren't aware because the media isn't putting a magnifying glass on it.
Yeah, this has been a problem for a very long time. And the sad part is that if you line 10 people up on the street and you ask them about Nigeria, first of all, they wouldn't have any idea where to put Nigeria on a map, let alone understand that Christians are being slaughtered. So you've got being
Christians. I think it's so
I'm sorry?
Christians. I think it's so important to say that, like something we can't even really fathom here. Keep going, David. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and if you look at it the other way, I mean, what if it wasn't Christians, right? What if it was some sort of other religious sect? Do you think CNN and others would be doing this story all the time? Absolutely they would. 100%. It'd be nonstop. But, you know, you put Christians in there and it's like, okay, you know what? It's Christians, you know. Oh, the Christians are persecuted? No, Christians are never persecuted. Really? You know, you might want to quickly do a quick look around the world. Christians are the most persecuted out there, and it's not just Nigeria, FYI.
No, I think, too, when it happens and it sort of goes unmentioned, it also sort of gives license to other groups to persecute Christians in other parts of the world, by the way, including America. I mean, we've heard rumblings from the left. Let's not pretend like we don't hear this, David Brody. We hear rumblings from the left of, you know, Christian nationalists, white Christian nationalists. You know, these are the new Nazis, all this stuff. You know, this is where they're going with that. Let's not kid ourselves, right?
Yeah, and then we also know that it's the far left that has the violent streak, right? But, you know, if you listen to the media long enough, it's the Christian nationalists that do, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think one of the problems with the Nigeria Christian situation is that, I'm not defending it, I'm just saying it's a reality. It's a world away.
Yeah.
And because it's a world away, you know, it just all becomes kind of like, what is it called? Now I can't remember the slogan. Out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I can't put my slogans together today. Yeah, out of sight, out of mind. And I think that's a lot of it. And, you know, we're so busy with our lives that we're not taking a moment to think about this type of stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I get it. I mean, you know, you and I are talking about it here on the air, but, like, let's be honest. I mean, in our daily lives, you and me and others, I mean, how much are we always consistently thinking about? We're not. We're thinking about healthcare, and we're thinking about, you know, the lack of freedoms that we see in America and all that. We're not thinking about Nigerian Christians, you and me even. We're talking about it here, which is great, but we're not thinking about it on like a daily basis because it's like, it's a world away.
Yeah, no, that's true. My husband keeps bringing it up and sending me things about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be thinking about it as much. But I am thinking about it a lot. Maybe the Holy Spirit is speaking to me, you know, as he will do sometimes, and saying, you know, it's time to bring this to the forefront and to help the charities that are helping them and things like that. Because God forbid, I mean, just how horrible the stuff that my husband sends me is just, it's impossible to watch, but you feel like you have to, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the producers letting us talk about it. I appreciate our audience, who I know is praying for the Christians in Nigeria. And David Brody, I always appreciate you. Back with the second hour of American Sunrise in 2.
Yeah, of course. Hey, listen, real quick. So I'm sorry, I missed what happened with Billy. I was watching a clip, shockingly, of myself, and I didn't see what was going on. All I heard was, I was literally mesmerized by a clip of myself, and then all of a sudden I hear in my ear, like, oh, time to do the Nigeria Christian story. So... No, it's all good. It's all good. I think the lesson for me is don't watch clips of myself during breaks.
Hey, Trace again.
Hello.
We have some hometown forecasts today.
Yes, we do.
Is there a city named Bertha somewhere in the country? I want a hometown forecast for a city named Bertha.
You know what's funny? My brother-in-law, when him and my sister were having their first kid, it was a boy, and he goes, good, because I would not make a good-looking girl. And he's like, we'd have to name it Bertha.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
But now they do have a little girl, but she's gonna be cute.
What's her name?
Presley.
Twinkleman71. Good thing there's not a typo on that.
David, are you going to read it?
No. You read it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Twinkle Man.
Thanks, Twinkle Man.
Bertha, Minnesota.
Sounds like a prostate situation. Coming up on the second hour of American Sunrise, the Trump administration introducing additional tariffs on Canada, claiming that our northern neighbor benefits from unfair trade. We're going to talk about the escalating trade dispute in a moment. Plus, a court victory for President Trump. But the fight over mail-in voting is far from over. We're going to talk about the latest legal battle over a proposed postal service rule that could reshape how states handle election mail. And later, cities and communities across the country dumping their contracts for flock security cameras, reigniting a larger debate over privacy. We'll dig into those details later this hour. Those stories and so much more. We're starting on a Tuesday on American Sunrise right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrance.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody. I'm in D.C., and I'm corrupt. Let's bring in Dr. G in West Palm and T. Bates in our Denver newsroom. Are either of you corrupt? Because I sure am.
Not corrupt, but I can tell you that, living in Palm Beach, I think there is some corruption here.
Some?
Yeah, a lot of it we've imported from New York. Thanks a lot, David, and DC.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
It's true.
That is hilarious. I will say this, living in Colorado, I am not corrupt, but I definitely don't trust the elections here because you mentioned kind of in your tease, mail-in ballots. They mail you ballots here in Colorado, and it's very rare that people actually go to a balloting station or a poll and submit. You actually fill it out and send back in your ballot, or you can drop it off, which I just think is the most asinine thing, and I actually want to use the root word of that, and it's not a nine.
A nine? A nine?
Ever. Oh, yeah, it's not a nine, right? But yeah, I just think it's crazy. Plus, I'm the type of person, I feel like going to a polling site builds community. You meet your neighbors, you talk to people in your community, and it just builds community. There's something special about the American spirit in that process, and unfortunately, that's missing.
That's a great point, Terrance. That's a great point. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, that's just how I see it. Like, I enjoy going to vote and just, while in line, whether we vote for the same thing, I couldn't care less. Just meeting you, hey, how are you? What's important to you? Just having conversations. To me, that's important. That builds community. So that's just something I cherish and I've missed since moving to Colorado.
My husband's family is the reason why I'm involved in politics. I grew up in the capital city. My mom dated the lieutenant governor after my dad left her, and I never was involved in politics, despite living there. My husband, from a different town, not the capital city, his family was very civic. His grandmother was, I think, the first female senator from Illinois, something like that. Anyway, it was his family that got me involved in politics. And his mother, I remember, who never ran for office or anything, she was just a grassroots person. She just felt a sense of civic engagement was part of the price you pay for living in America and living in a free land. And she made a day out of it. She would go get everyone to vote. She would work the polls. She would take her friends to coffee to get them to the polls to make sure they voted. She was that type of a patriot. And Terrance, you make such a great point. If they can take that away from us and we all get our ballots in the mail, then there is no community in it, and there is no talking over the issues, especially the more ancillary issues like the school bond measure. Do we really need another $1 million going to the teachers' unions? That kind of thing. Like, that's the kind of stuff that neighbor to neighbor they used to talk about. But now government does everything. Terrance, that is such an insightful point that I just really had never stopped to put together.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to leave now because I don't think I can outdo myself on that one. So glad that. But seriously, that's just the way. That's one of the things that I appreciate about elections is going to the polling site and meeting my neighbors. Well, let's get to some other headlines here really quickly, guys. President Trump is going to welcome the president of Lebanon to the White House later this morning. The upcoming bilateral meeting is going to include discussions about reining in the Iran-backed Hezbollah group that's terrorizing Israel and southern Lebanon. Today's talks come as Lebanon and Israel continue holding direct talks for the first time in decades. The Trump administration is a key mediator in the ongoing discussions that are aimed at stopping Lebanon and Hezbollah from firing on Israel and, in turn, seeing Israeli troops vacate southern Lebanon. Filing for South Carolina's special Republican primary to replace deceased Senator Lindsey Graham as the GOP's nominee in November opens today. The primary is already off to an interesting start, though, as Graham's sister Darlene who was just sworn in last week to finish her brother's current term, says that she will run for re-election. Many expected her to simply see out her brother's term, but the younger Graham says she has prayed on it and she's going to run to be the GOP's South Carolina Senate candidate in November. Other candidates saying they'll enter the race include Representative Russell Fry as well as Congressman Ralph Norman. The primary, by the way, is scheduled for August 11th. And 14 states across the central part of the country are bracing for possible rolling power outages. The Southwest Power Pool, which provides electricity from North Dakota over to Louisiana, says the power system is on the brink of an electricity shortfall due to record demand. A heat wave across the region is leading to increased use, leading to the grid operator operating this particular grid, saying that all of its reserves that it's having to dip into its reserves in order to meet the current need. On rare occasions, power grid operators will actually order controlled blackouts in order to prevent outages that affect a wider area. That's a quick check of your headlines. Now, let's get you back over to, okay, it looks like we do have Tracy. All right, Tracy, I'm sorry. I was going to move on because I heard no weather, and then I heard Tracy is back. So always good to see you, madame. You've got our hometown forecast.
Yeah, you know, every now and then there's some tech issues with the touchscreen. Adrian saved me. He ran in, saved the day. So we do have the hometown forecast. Going to take you out to Stacy, Texas, where, look at this, beautiful weather conditions. Now, if you're anywhere near Houston or the coast, that's where we're going to have a few more chances for some rain shower activity. But other than that, if you're a little farther inland, it's going to be nice and dry, but it's staying warm. Look at those overnight temperatures staying very, very mild. Now, for the second stop, we're going to take you out to Kylesford, Tennessee. This is a town I had never heard of. This is where we're dealing with some severe potential. So we do have a cold front that's going to work throughout the day today that will dial back those temperatures. So B Ward Auctioneer, this one coming in on Gitter. You are going to have a stormy forecast, so the Weather Nation app will be your best bet over the next couple of days to stay weather aware into the afternoon and evenings. And last stop is Hartford, Connecticut. So Patriot Mermaid saying that their grandkids had a birthday party this weekend. And good news for Connecticut, it looks like you're going to dry out into the weekend. So temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s. You just have to deal with that same storm system that Tennessee is dealing with over the next couple of days. So Patriot Mermaid, at least you'll have sunny skies this weekend. So Terrance, those are the hometown forecasts for the day today. Want to just remind everyone, don't forget to drop your hometown in any of the social chats. And if you catch weather, whether it's a video or a photo, send those my way as well.
Tracy, way to get her done with those hometown forecasts off of Getter. Good job. All right. I couldn't resist. Thanks, Tracy. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see ya.
All right. Let's get you back over to David. David, good morning. I'm full of punchlines today. I probably need some more coffee.
Yeah, well, there's another hour. You got some time. The president has signed an order imposing an additional 50% tariff on certain Canadian goods, accusing Canada of maintaining discriminatory trade practices against the U.S. The administration also announced separate trade actions involving Canadian motor vehicles, dairy, and alcohol products. Officials say the new measures are unrelated to President Trump's recent threats over Canada's wildfires, which have sent smoke across parts of the U.S. All right, joining us now with a reaction is the editor-in-chief for Just the News, John Solomon. John, good morning to you. I was going to make a Canadian joke, but I've got nothing in the arsenal this morning. So,
yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Canada, it's no laughing matter today. These tariffs are going to hit hard. It's a effort to get Canada to drop its extraordinarily ban on U.S. alcohol products. The Canadians are very protective of their malt and their other liquor products, and they've not allowed American products into the country like they let other countries' wine and alcoholic beverages into the country. The Trump administration says that amounts to trade discrimination, and therefore, until it is fixed, we'll hit Canada with 50%. And they hit them on some things that really hurt. Canada is very proud of their hockey equipment and hockey sticks. Now there's a 50% tariff on that. And then alcoholic and cars are two others. So the Canadians take a big hit for trying to keep American alcohol out of their marketplace. It'll be interesting to see. This will probably survive a court challenge. The discriminatory nature is pretty clear. America is being treated differently than other protectionist policies in Canada against other alcohol makers in other countries. And so this one's going to stick. The courts are not going to let Canada escape these tariffs.
I want to clear up potash as one of those things that we were discussing earlier on this exact topic. It's a group of water-soluble potassium-bearing salts mined as potassium chloride. So there you have it. We were talking about this earlier, John, so I wanted to clear that up. John, House Republicans turning their attention to the American Bar Association this week. Lawmakers set to hold a hearing on whether the ABA used its law school accreditation process to push DEI policies and question ABA leadership about whether these standards conflicted with federal civil rights law and the Supreme Court's 2023 ruling striking down race-conscious college admissions. John, what more can you tell us about this?
Yeah, this is a big deal. The ABA is one of the most powerful bodies in all of the legal profession. And for years, it has set the accreditation standards through its rules and regulations for law schools. And over the years, the DEI discriminatory practices seeped into this in a big way. President Trump signed that executive order last year saying that DEI violates civil liberties. Law schools started rolling them back. About a year ago, the ABA suspended its DEI rules. About a couple of months ago, its main committee that oversees that process for law schools voted to rescind it. But what the Brandon Gill and his very special task force on discrimination in government is going to show is that during the time that the ABA imposed these restrictions on law schools, it illegally discriminated against certain types of students and allowed students to get into law school and become lawyers who may not have been the most competent. So they're going to look at it from two perspectives. Discrimination, and did we create a generation of lawyers who weren't the brightest and best in these law schools because the standards were lowered to get some sort of diversity index to be met? I think tomorrow will be a bombastic day. The president of the ABA will be on the hot box, being questioned all throughout the day. But I think it's an important issue. Of all the professions to engage in discrimination, you would think law would be the least likely, but that's not been the case the last decade.
John, there's so much that I want to ask you and unpack about President Trump's speech last week, even though you refused to kind of give me a heads up on what was going to happen. So I had to stay up a little bit late in order to listen to it. No, I get it. I've been upset with you, though, for the last several days. But no, seriously, you know, obviously the president talked a lot about election integrity, even released some declassified files online. The bigger question that I have now is, what next? What's going to happen next? It looks like Markwayne Mullin and DHS are kind of going to be leading the charge on all of this. You've also been doing a lot of reporting there, Just the News, on the Michigan issue that President Trump brought up. Take your pick where you want to start first, because there really is a lot to chew on here.
Yeah, so we now know that China has had 220 million American voter files since 2020, a data breach that we should have been told about 6 years ago, 4 years ago, certainly not this late. We now know that the U.S. government assessed our voter machines were hackable by foreign power since 2020. We didn't take corrective action, so we left a glass chin on the face of American politics for 6 years. And we now know that there was an example of cheating in Michigan, in a battleground state during 2020 election, that the FBI wasn't allowed to prosecute. People submitting false voter registration forms in a large number, industrial scale. So we now know that. The question is, what do we do with it? And I think the president has 4 plans. One, the FBI has reopened the Michigan case, so keep an eye on that, see if there's any criminality or accountability that can be brought, even though the statute of limitations has expired on the core crimes. 2, the Homeland Security Department is placing significant resources into patching machines and getting states to fix the vulnerabilities that we now know exist on our election machines. The government knew about it all the way back to January 2020, but they took no action to fix it. President Trump is fixing that. The third thing is the Homeland Security Department has an audit that found just in 4 states that aren't cooperating with cleaning their voter rolls, 250,000 non-citizens made it onto the rolls, i.e. foreigners. The government is taking 2 steps here. They're going to demand those states immediately remove those non-citizens. In addition, the Postal Service will not deliver election ballots to states that don't cooperate with Trump's executive order. That could put a big wrinkle in the fall election. And by the way, the courts thus far have allowed the Postal Service to proceed with that rule. So accountability is happening on multiple things. People will go into 26 much more secure than they went into 2020, 22, or 24.
John Solomon, great to have you. Give that man a mic. Never let him not have a mic. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys. Good to talk to you.
You too.
All right, we're back in a moment, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see.
Brody, what's his name? That one guy that, like, if I say the word bad, like, guy, what's this? Fuentes, that's it. Right?
Yes. Nick, I was just ready to say Bad Bunny. What are you talking about?
I never realized he was on the top 6 most wanted from J6, and how come he was never arrested?
Who, Nick Fuentes?
Yeah. I didn't know that. I literally did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Added to the things I don't know.
But we all know what potash is now. Kind of.
We do. It sounds like something that they smoked in the 60s.
Did you know that the government has heart attack guns?
You know what? Add that to my parchment scroll list. No, I did not know that. It doesn't surprise me, but that's interesting.
Think about it for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Time to drain me right down the swamp. Welcome back, everybody, to American Sunrise. We are going to drain the swamp this morning. This morning, we're flushing out mail-in voting. Why the heck not? A federal appeals court has handed the Trump administration a legal victory in its push to expand federal oversight of elections. So a D.C. appeals court paused a lower court order that had blocked a proposed U.S. Postal Service rule tightening mail-in voting requirements. The policy would require states to provide voter lists to the Postal Service or risk having mail-in ballots refused. However, the rule remains on hold because a separate federal judge in Massachusetts has also blocked it. The legal fight is now likely to continue as the midterm elections approach. All right, let's talk more about this. Bring back T&G. T&G sounds like, I don't know what that sounds like exactly. I'm not sure what T&G
sounds like. A power company, an electric company or something. T&G.
That's right. Oh, crap, I got to call T&G. My lights are out. Right. Yeah, no, that does sound.
It does. It sounds like an electric company. We are so off today. I don't know what's going on, but Mercury's in retrograde, or I don't know, but yeah.
All right. What are we talking about?
I don't know, David. What are we talking about?
We're talking about mail-in ballots. Let me just say, this idea that the legal fight's going to continue, that was the last line. I like to say to that, I like to react to the last line of the story. Yeah, no duh. Because, like, here's the thing. There are dozens and dozens of lawsuits, T-Bates, regarding mail-in ballots. And it's not just the federal cases get the big attention, but this is going on in all sorts of states here.
Oh, absolutely. And each state, of course, has different policies as it relates to mail-in ballots. I think President Trump is right on in terms of doing away with mail-in ballots or only allowing our troops who are serving overseas or elsewhere to be allowed to use mail-in ballots. And in my mind, they've got to be mailed at very least they've got to be mailed, period, by Election Day. I think that's got to be standard. I'd actually like to see them arrive by Election Day, which means you've got to mail a little bit
Election Day. Arrive by Election Day.
That would be my preference, to arrive. But the reality is, in many states, probably a majority of states at this point, the law is that they have to be postmarked by Election Day, which means that they can arrive and be counted, weeks after the actual election, depending on where you're being sent. I'd like to see them arrive by Election Day. I agree with you. But again, Dr. Gina, at this point, most states have the law that they've got to be postmarked by Election Day.
It should be trouble. It should be hard to get a mail-in ballot. It should be that you are encouraged to show up physically and go in and vote. It should be a paper ballot that you yourself can keep track of. As you guys know, I've told you this, I still get multiple California ballots every election year. I've never requested a mail-in ballot. I don't live in California. I haven't lived there for like 8 years. And I still get multiple ballots because California wants to keep all of its voters on the registry. And then here's the other really weird thing about the California ballots. There's always holes in the envelope that you can see through. I don't get that. Maybe somebody knows why. Maybe there's a good reason. I think it's weird. I just, the whole system just needs to go back. We need to do it like other countries do it. We should have, being as we are such an important country and all the things that America is, our voting system should be the highest privilege and the most difficult. And I don't care what any Democrats say about it.
And go back to paper ballots, too. I'm not mad at that. I would go back to paper ballots.
To vote, and you should have to earn it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The T&G Electric Company. Thank you very much for me. The electric company. Am I dating myself? Morgan Freeman will join us next. No, he won't. All right, coming up, a new book takes a fresh look at American history by highlighting the heroes that made the country what it is today. We're going to talk about it after the break. Trying to powder my nose.
Yeah, I'm not saying heart attack guns just came in. I'm just saying somehow I missed that memo. I didn't know anything about it. For True Freedom is saying there was a hearing conducted about these a year ago. Well, I just think it's really interesting that there were 3 people that died of heart attacks at January 6th.
Yeah. On a separate note, why do women go to the bathroom together?
Because that's where we talk, and because we do makeup. Okay, so that's one of the best parts about being a girl, is you go in the bathroom, you're like, oh my gosh, wait, have you tried the new lip gloss by whoever? And what's your favorite eyeliner? Because I need a new eyeliner. And do you have a favorite? Yeah, that's what we do in the bathroom.
But real quick, why can't that just be done like at a conversation at the table? Why do you have to go to the bathroom?
Really? Are you going to be okay if we're sitting at the table and your husbands are sitting across the table and there's nice white tablecloth and there's candle and all the things, and here we are. Ooh, look at this. You're not going to be okay with that. You're going to be like, put that away. What are you doing?
And for that very reason, I don't go to white tablecloth restaurants.
That's right. I go to White Castle. Richard, hey, are you there?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Big Bertha's Beefcake for you, right, T? That's your favorite restaurant?
There you go. Big Bertha's Beefcake, yes.
Sounds yummy.
Big Bertha's Burgers.
I'd go there.
Oh, I know you would.
See, now that we're
there.
talking about food, I miss those biscuits from that Italian restaurant we went to in Dallas. Our
country is under attack. The radical left woke agenda is infiltrating our schools, our houses of worship, our government, and our media. The younger generation needs you, the older, wiser generation, to stand up and lead us back to the right path. Think you're too old to fight back? Think again. Stand up right now and join AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC will give you the training and resources to become a citizen soldier so you can fight for the country you love before it's too late. AMAC is more than 2 million patriots strong. You need to be the next to raise your hand and join. Will you defend democracy? Will you fight for the nation you love? Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.us/RAV. Time is running out. Stand up and fight today.
Make America great again.
We're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It is set to ring here in about 5 minutes. Here's a look at pre-market trading. As you can see, and you'll see this momentarily, there you have it. The board is green from top to bottom. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, the major indices, all up right now. Hopefully it will stay that way throughout the day. We'll take you to New York for the opening bell shortly. First, let's get you over to David. David, quick question. How do you pronounce the word mature? How do you pronounce that word?
Mature.
Same here. I was just listening to that, and every time I hear the promo that we played before this, he says mature American citizens, and I'm always like, mature. It sounds so nice. Mature, not mature. Mature American citizens. That feels very British. I just thought I was the only one. I call it mature too.
Okay, good to know. Now that we're on record, we've got that. All right, so as America celebrates its 250th birthday, one author is looking back at the men and women who helped shape the nation that we know today. Richard Battle's new book, Americans Who Made America, 20th Century, the American Century, highlights the lives of 43 influential Americans, from President Ronald Reagan, Harry Truman, Dwight Eisenhower to Rosa Parks, Walt Disney, Laura Ingalls Wilder, military heroes, inventors, entrepreneurs, and other history makers. That's a lot. Did I just name all 43? I did not. The award-winning author now joins us here on the show. Richard, this book looks fascinating. It really is a series. You look at 18th century, 19th century. Take us through some of this. Wow, this is cool.
Well, thank you so much for having us with you today. And this is the fourth of a 5-book series. And it began when I got sick and tired of people disparaging the country and realized that what made our country what it is were individuals with what I call the American-do spirit. And when they saw something that needed to be done, they did it. When they had a dream, they chased it. And those examples are ones that I want to pass along to our children and grandchildren, because they're being sold this bill of goods that they cannot have a life as good as we've had it. And so I want this to be inspiration for the next generations.
That's great. Was there a common theme that a lot of these great Americans had? You know, the can-do spirit obviously is a common theme, but like, what was motivating them? It just seems like they had, I don't know, there's a DNA thing going on there, that they just had something that it took to get the job done.
Well, and I think they refused to listen to people tell them they couldn't do something. When they wanted to do something, had a dream, or they saw something that needed to be done, they persevered. They followed the example of George Washington, for example, who carried the revolution on his back in the 18th century. And they went, Edison, his inventions, where he persevered until he invented the light bulb. And that's a lesson we've got to teach our young people, because they believe they've got it worse than any other generation. And it's very easy to show them that many generations before them had it much worse than the kids today do.
For sure. We've got about 20, 25 seconds or so. What are the next couple of books coming out? I know you got this one out, but what's the final, what do you got, books 4 and 5 coming out as well? What's the final deal on this?
Well, book 5 will be another book of essays. It'll be a leadership and a how can people achieve that can-do spirit. The last 3 books have been illustrations. The 20th century is just out today of examples.
Wonderful. Go to Amazon, everybody. Get it there. Let's put the book up. Can we do that, guys, one more time? because this book is something you definitely want to go check out on Amazon. There it is, Americans Who Made America. And of course, Terrance, Gina, and I are involved, or, you know, we're obviously in that book. No, we're not. But thank you, Richard. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. God bless America.
All right, let's go to T. Bates back in Denver. He's got the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We are less than a minute away from the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Then we'll get an idea of how the markets are looking. The applause is already underway there at the podium, which means the bell is going to ring here in short order, and then we'll get a clear picture of where things are looking. You saw probably about 5 minutes ago or so, pre-market trading was looking very strong. Our board was green top to bottom. Hopefully it stays that way the moment the markets open and those first sales are being put in. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The markets are officially open right now. And just like that, it looks like it's a good start to this day of trading. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ all remaining in the green right now. Looks like VIX is in the red, but the rest of our board remaining in the green. So that's a good sign of things to come, or let's hope it's a good sign of things to come as we start this Tuesday of trading. Here's a question for you. Do you owe back taxes, or do you have unfiled tax returns? Maybe you filed every year, but you still keep owing, or you're retired and you got hit with a surprise tax bill. Maybe you're a business owner with a tax bill that you just can't afford. Did you take early money from your 401k and now you owe? However your tax issue started, the result is the same. Your balance isn't going down and penalties are growing, interest is compounding, and many of you are about to owe yet again this year with no plan in place. So stop what you're doing right now and call the folks over at Tax Network USA. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, even take your home or your retirement. With over 15 years in business, the folks at Tax Network USA have seen and resolved all kinds of tax issues. They've helped taxpayers nationwide settle over $1 billion in tax debt. Call 800-905-8000, 800-905-8000, and get more information about how Tax Network USA may be able to help you with your tax issue. Still to come here on American Sunrise, are license plate cameras making your community safer, or are they watching your every move? After the break, we'll talk about why some cities are embracing flock safety cameras, while others are shutting them down. Stevie G.
What's up, Terrance?
How are you, my friend?
Steve, cause some trouble today on the show. Wake me up. Wake me up.
Wake you up. All right. Before you go. Oh,
I knew you wouldn't be able to resist that.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
The fact, Gina, that you're even quoting a Wham song is disconcerting at best.
That's very upsetting. That's like an Ace song that Terrance would request before the show, and I'd have to take my IFB out so it doesn't ruin my mood.
I actually love that song. I liked Wham. I'm never gonna dance again.
No, Terrance, that was not the idea. Was to get you started on bad '80s music.
No. I thought you were requesting.
It wasn't an invitational request. No.
I would like to sing "A Flock of Seagulls" if you don't mind. I ran so far away, couldn't get away.
We really need a karaoke night. Terrance and David, just plan a trip here. Let's do a karaoke night. You can stay at my place for free. It's not going to cost you anything. Just plan it. Just come. Let's do it. Let's do a karaoke. And
Dr. Gina, you mentioned it. I am considering, and I'm in early stages of trying to plan something for this fall.
Well, get on it. Plan it with Brody so we're all here at the same time. Hurry it up, man.
Did I hear free?
All right.
Yeah, totally free. Terrance, I'll pay your bills. And I owe you a steak dinner.
You're gonna charge us a service charge,
I gotta pay my coworkers to come see me. This is ridiculous, but I will. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. Gina. Thanks for joining us this morning. We invite you to hop in our conversation on YouTube. Getter and Rumble are out there also, but we play a lot in the YouTube chat. Just saying, you should get in there and have some fun with us. It is time now to take the political pulse of America. Here's the beat today. License plate reader cameras are helping police solve crimes and recover stolen vehicles, but a growing number of communities are asking whether the technology comes at the cost of personal privacy. These are the flock cameras we're hearing so much about. Cities across the country reevaluating their use of flock safety cameras, they're called. The Los Angeles Police Department has suspended its program. Did you hear that? Suspended its program, citing questions about data ownership, privacy, security, and how information that is collected is actually shared. Supporters say the cameras have helped reduce crime, but critics, including the ACLU, argue the system creates a form of mass surveillance. About 80 communities have now canceled their flock contracts so far. We're going to talk more about this with T. Bates and Debro. You know, here's what I love about this. I just want our audience to pause on this note for one moment. It is public outrage that caused this. Whether or not you agree with it, I just want you to know your voice does matter. And sometimes when you raise a little hell, patriots, you get results, right? Terrance, your thoughts?
No, I get that. And I guess that is the benefit. I don't understand the outrage over these systems. If you're on a public road in a car, you're in the public domain. And if you're not doing anything wrong, I don't understand why you would be concerned about your information being taken from these cameras. It's a big ado about nothing for me, but I also am the type of person, apart from maybe speaking a little bit, I'm not really doing too much wrong, so I don't have much of a concern. If people are concerned about this, I wonder what they're doing that would raise these sorts of concerns. That's just me. Maybe I'm a little too short-sighted, David.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope, I guess. And that's my biggest concern. I mean, where does it end? Okay. You know? And I understand it's being done for supposedly, you know, good purposes out there. It's not nefarious. Okay, it's not nefarious until it is nefarious, right? So I'm not convinced necessarily that this is great. It's hard. I feel a bit conflicted on this, Gina. I'm curious where you're at on it. I don't know.
Give me an idea. I'm sorry, David, if you don't mind. I just like what would be how would it be used nefariously? Like how do you envision it being used nefariously? Give me an example.
Well, they'll have your license plate number. Well, have your license plate number.
I mean, it's registered with the state.
And tracking your movements where you are. I just don't like. Go ahead, Gina. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a big distinction to be made here. And as the mother of children, some of whom are public and some of whom wish to remain so very private, they won't even let me tell my friends who they're dating. Like literally some of my children are so mortified by the public that they want to have no public fingerprint, face print. And that's where it really comes in. It's the facial recognition. What business is it of the three of us? We're public every day. So we've chosen to be public people. So obviously we have a different standard, but I think for a moment you have to think about the person who just wants a private life. They don't want their face to be followed by our government. And it's not
Big
about
Brother's watching.
It's not about wanting to commit crimes. That's what I used to feel too, Terrance. But I realized by my children who do wish to be more public that, I do one thing and my children's names are in some tabloid. That's ridiculous. And David, Brody, you know this feeling. And Terrance, you'll know it sooner or later. It's not a good feeling when your children really want to be private and they can't be private citizens. And this is turning the whole entire American public into that. Also, think about if you want to go back into private life. Do you really want your face and your activities? Do they need to know where you were shopping? Do they need to know when you went to the dry cleaner? They don't need to know that. That is not the government's business, Terrance. It's just not.
And also, do I want a liberal jurisdiction, having my license plate number and where I was and facial recognition for whatever they may deem appropriate in the future? Yeah. I'm not quite sure I do, quite frankly. And one last thing. They say they delete the videos, or excuse me, the images after 30 days. Really? Nothing's ever deleted.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, eye roll.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Terrance, let's go back to sitting under the Biden administration for just 1 second. And this, I think this will punctuate it for you. Think about that. And let's say you wanted to go to a gun show this weekend because you want to protect your family. Guess what? When they decide who they're going to round up, guess where they're going to start? You. Because you went to a gun show last weekend because you wanted to have one gun to protect your family, and you've taken all your tactical training and you've got your license, but it is not the business of the government to know any of this.
Oh, I love it. I'm just reveling in the fact that Gina and I agree. That's all I care about.
We should enjoy this moment. Everyone feel it.
It's
you guys make good
Hold
points.
on, let me just savor it.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean, you guys make fair points. I'll say that. I'm not going to say they're good. They're fair points. They are good points. They are good points. It just doesn't bother me. And maybe it's because I don't feel or I don't know how affected I am. But I see benefits that could potentially outweigh all of that. And I just think of things like, if my daughter were to disappear, if someone were to disappear, I would want as much information as possible to try to help track her down. And I see this sort of thing potentially being that. So that's just
they use
a
that to scare you. But I'll tell you something, Terrance, if we spend our time instead on getting back to godliness in this country, things used to function a lot better from that perspective. Communities, churches, neighbors, families used to watch out for one another like they don't now because we have the government, we have cameras to do it all for us. That's the part that upsets me.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's bring in the tie-breaking vote, or maybe not the tie-breaking vote. Let's bring in the vote that will decide. That will agree with obviously. No, he's obviously going to agree with Gina and David as I speak in the third person. That would be Steve Gruber. Steve, where are you on this? There's a lot riding on your vote right here.
Viva la revolucion! What? Let's see here.
What?
I don't know what happened there. Time for the revolution.
What happened there?
Time for the revolution. Look, these flock cameras, I don't want them in my neighborhood. Let me just read from you, Terrance Bates, from this document I call the United States Constitution. Let's see. No warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath. Is this not an invasion of my privacy and a search of my person? These flock cameras connect to the Bluetooth on your phone when you're walking by. Another way to surveil you on your phone. Look, I get that you're not doing anything wrong, but that is the oldest argument. I love you, brother, but this is the oldest argument in the world. If you're not doing anything wrong, well, then just show us everything you got. That's not the way it works.
Is it really surveillance,
let's say, for the sake of argument.
Steve, let me just ask, is it really surveillance? Like, if you're out in public,
of course it's surveillance.
There's no expectation of privacy in public, like legally. That's legal. That's not just T. Bates. That's legal. When you're in a public domain, there's no expectation of privacy.
Okay, fine. What about the woman in Colorado? It's all over the internet. Who the police showed up on her doorstep because of flock cameras and tried to arrest her for theft because her vehicle was somewhere it was not normally. According to what? The LPRs? They tried to arrest her. She had to have a dash cam in her own vehicle to prove she wasn't there. She had to prove her innocence to police in Colorado who showed up on her doorstep. It's easy to find. It's an easy story to go look up. No, sir. Yeah, absolutely not. Your phone's connected to the flock cameras. In Georgia, I believe it was, a bunch of police officers have been fired recently. Why? They were using flock cameras to monitor their own family members or whomever.
Wow.
It is ripe for abuse. Look, I go back to the year 2000. I was in Columbus, Ohio, at the city center where the police headquarters was, right? And they had just installed cameras on the stoplights so they could look at drivers. Well, it's for your safety. And then one of the guys goes, watch this. And he zoomed right in on the driver's face. This was 26 years ago. And I thought to myself, that ain't good. Because if they can zero right in, because you talk about what you're doing, what if I go out on Sunday and I zip by the police officer on my way down the road, and LPR, the license plate reader, checks my car in. Boom, he no wants and no warrants. He goes on his way. And Steve goes on down to the local pub to watch the World Cup or whatever. And then, you know, it's halftime of the World Cup. I'm kind of bored here. I'm going to go to the next pub down the street. There might be a better crowd, people I like, whatever. All of a sudden, my car has been tracked to 2 pubs on a Sunday with that LPR. Maybe Mr. Gruber should be pulled over because he's been at 2 pubs in 2 hours. What is he up to? Is he drinking? We should check. And that brings me back to the 4th Amendment of the United States Constitution, and that's unreasonable search of my person in public or not, Terrance. In public or not, that is unreasonable to me. And the poor woman in Colorado, where you live, my friend, being charged with a crime of theft because her vehicle wasn't on the street she's normally on. I don't know. How did they get that information? Are they correlating and using AI data centers to figure out where we're all moving and what's going on? Gee, why do we need all these data centers? To correlate information about Gina, David, Terrance, Steve, all of us, and cross-match it and cross-reference it, and I don't like it one little bit. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a fan of crime, but I am amused by the guys that go out with their little sawzalls and hack these cameras down and smash them to bits. I get some pleasure out of that, secretly. I would never say that in public, of course.
I think Terrance was one of them because I saw him at the hardware store.
That was me trying to figure out the difference between a wrench and a hammer.
For those of you keeping score, at home, those towers that the flock cameras on are hollow, so the sawzall, and down they come.
All right, for those who are not worried about these, here's what I have a teacher assignment for everyone. Terrance, when's the last time you read the book 1984?
Oh gosh.
Oh God, in high school.
Maybe reread it or listen to the audio tape, because I was listening to it and holding it up to what is happening right now, especially with the flock cameras. And I'll tell you what, chills up my spine. And I read 1984 many times in my life. I think junior high, high school, maybe even again in college. But I'll tell you what, it's a fresh read with all the liberties we have let go of, Steve. And you know this. I mean, I think
that's right.
Liberty slips away so insidiously. It's little things. You know,
right.
My husband would always describe, you just have to crack that door a little bit. Someone's going to stick their foot in, and pretty soon it's a battering ram.
How about some Victory Gin? You know, it's got a bit of a metallic taste, but how about some Victory Gin? That's 1984, of course. I just got an original edition from one of my children for Christmas. It's pretty remarkable. She found an original edition of 1984 as a gift to me. I have read it recently.
What a cool
and you
gift.
should read Animal Farm as well. Don't just read 1984. Read Animal Farm as well. Read them both. They're not, you know, long books. They're educational. If he had called the book 2024, he'd have pretty much hit the bullseye.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, some are more equal than others. Steve Gruber, you're definitely more equal than others. Thank you so much for being with us.
So we have resolved Terrance was right, you 3 were wrong.
Read it again. Read 1984 and Animal Farm. You get back with us on that, Terrance. You tell us who was right and who was wrong. We love
that's
that.
your takeaway.
Thanks, Steve. All right, coming up, HBO host Bill Maher says he is done with communist Democrats and doubles down on his vote being in play for 2028. We're going to show you what he had to say after this break. Stay with us.
Sell the lie, then double back. They say trust us, don't ask why. Look away, don't use your eyes. But truth don't need a costume. Truth don't lie. Truth bomb. Take truth bomb. Say once, then it's gone. Truth bomb.
Gotcha, thank you. Let me actually read this.
I love what Steve Gruber said in that block.
Yeah, it was.
I am not advocating crime, but those pulls are hollow.
I like T-Bates, your takeaway from that block, that you were right. That
I was right.
That was great.
Terrance, you have a great what am I trying to say? Why can't any of us think of words today? What's going on?
Any of us? Oh, sorry.
Well, I don't know. You were thinking of, you couldn't get the one phrase we were trying to say.
I couldn't.
And I'm just saying right now I can't get the phrase I'm trying to think of either. So yeah.
It's a Tuesday.
We need tacos.
I've been up since 2 o'clock my time. I just couldn't sleep, and so I was working. Now I'm tired. Now I'm ready to to go take a nap.
So I keep reading you're supposed to have 8 hours of sleep. So I'm really shooting for that. But can I tell you,
dude,
when I do,
that's crazy.
I am so much more tired the next day than when I sleep 4 hours.
That's right.
4 hours feels so right for me.
I haven't had 8 hours in decades. Like, seriously, I can't remember the last time I've had 8 hours.
But I mean, if I even go beyond 4, I'm tired. And almost incrementally as far beyond 4 as I go. Like, if it's 5 hours, I'm not too tired. If it's 6 hours, I'm getting really tired. Like, I don't get that.
Let's spill some tea.
Well, folks, if you already love artillery tea, lock in free shipping forever with the Patriots Brew Club subscription program. Simply add at least 2 items to your subscription and enjoy free shipping forever. Plus, you can get discounts up to 20% and free rewards. Don't go through tea very quickly? Well, that's not a problem either. Set your deliveries as low as once every 3 months. There are no fees, and you can change flavors, pause, or even cancel your subscription at any time. Scan the QR code on your screen and get started. All right, let's get right into what's in the cup today. Comedian and HBO host Bill Maher says his vote is up for grabs, and he is drawing a hard line against so-called democratic socialists. Maher says he can't support a political party that embraces the democratic socialists of America, saying that he refuses to live in what he calls a communist America. His comments come as the Democrat Party continues to debate the growing influence of its progressive wing.
I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, you know, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism.
All right, let's bring back David and Dr. Gina to discuss. David, let's start with you. We kind of had a similar conversation last week or maybe just a couple of weeks ago. And my assessment was that this communist fringe of the Democrat Party, this far left, isn't necessarily the mainstream. I think Bill Maher probably is more of the mainstream of the Democrat Party. Would he not be?
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay.
No, no, like vehemently no. And I mean, T. Bates, I love you, but I think you're wrong on this one. I think I don't mean to call you out, but no, I think that's a misread of the situation. No, the Democrat Party is far left, progressive, socialist. Now, let me just be clear. What I mean by that is it's not just the numbers, okay? A lot of people you might have an argument to say, well, the numbers suggest, yeah, but it's never about the numbers. It's always about the activism. It's always about the energy. And the energy of the party is with the far left, and they're not fringe. It used to be fringe, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. Then it became less fringe, and now it's becoming more standard to the point where we're going to run some of this tomorrow on the show. Van Jones is going, you know, Van Jones, a progressive liberal going, what the world's going on? Bill Maher, what in the world's going on? Listen, when you have people like that saying what in the world's going on, we need to listen to that. We need to understand that makes the point that I'm trying to make, which is if they're saying that, they know they're losing the party.
So just to clarify, Dr. Gina, so you're saying the loudest voices in the party, even if they don't have the numbers, just because they're the loudest voices, they're pushing the agenda. Am I understanding that? No?
Good, Gina. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying loudest, but the numbers are also getting much, much stronger and increasing. Go ahead, Gina. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, they're winning. This is an invasion from within. That we have long expected. It's in definitely their Alinsky tactics. This is the culmination of it. When you put together all the great things that all of us were forced to read in terms of history and literature in our high school educations and college educations that have been completely eliminated, you don't wonder why we're landing exactly where all of those people said we'd land. They take God out of their platform, Terrance. And this is what happened. They literally think they have to choose between the isms. They're like, wait, communism's better than fascism, right? Socialism's better than, guess what? We don't have to have an ism. We can be a more perfect union by joining together based on freedom and liberty, as our founding fathers explored and experimented with. But the problem is that it leaves room for people to freely do things that destroy it. Because whether it's because they're jealous from other countries or whether it's because they just are honestly infested with evil. And I hate to put it that way, but I really think that's what we're facing. I think this is the oldest battle of time.
Interesting perspectives, you guys. You guys gave me something to think about, I will admit. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully common sense rules the day, be it Democrat, Republican. Hopefully Americans vote with something that is godly and vote for something that is godly first and foremost and something that's common sense. We shall see. All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap up that conversation, but we, of course, have more American Sunrise coming your way right after the break.
It's God-written guns. God-written guns.
Grits and guns. Okay. Has our live stream already ended? Is this it? No, that's not it. Oh, there we go. Let's see here.
Nothing good ever ends. The ultimate 4-in-1 formula.
It's the end of the show. I'm really hungry.
That makes two of us. I could eat a horse right about now. Not that I would, but I'm that hungry.
Driving to Miami after this.
Ooh, what's going on in Miami, if I may ask, Dr. Gina? Anything fun?
I'm doing a really cool podcast.
Now the children in the silence, watching what will become.
Hi, welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Let's play a little game of this or that. David Brody, here's the question. Yes. Would you rather get a text or a phone call?
Text. I don't want to speak to people.
Love you too, David Brody. Terrance, how about you? Text or phone call?
Except for you, Gina. Gina, call me anytime.
I'm a phone call person, Dr. G. You know, when you guys text all day and I read everything, but I'm like, I'd just rather talk about it. Part of the problem is probably because I'm really long-winded, and so I can't just give you a yes, no, or maybe. I want to go into the details, so yeah, I'm definitely a phone call person.
You, Gina?
1,000% text. But my mom, I think it's generational. I think Gen X is text. My mom was definitely a phone call person. In fact, when she died, the phone that was off in her hospital room rang. And I swear it was my mom's sense of humor going, don't you wish you could have a phone conversation with me now, little brat? She was so funny like that. But you know what? My kids are phone people. And that cracks me up because my son, Bo, he'll call me when he knows good and well I'm on air. I'm like, Bo, I'm live right now. Like, I can't talk to you. But my kids are phone people. I am text all day. I can hardly bear a phone call. And if someone asks me for a phone call, I feel like I might die. Really, literally, I feel
Gina,
trapped.
We're the same on that. We're agreeing a lot on this show. We need to stop that.
Something's
by the
wrong.
way.
Something's terrible.
Yeah, and I'm the outlier. Like, I am completely opposite on everything. All right, I'm going to take tomorrow off. How about that?
But T-Bates, please don't tell me you're one of these people that calls someone and, wait for it, leaves a voicemail. Like, who's leaving voicemails nowadays?
And who uses email?